Hey ladies, quick message before we get started with today's video. I am going to be doing a Q&A video either next week or the week after, so please leave your questions down below and I will answer them in a future video. I'm also going to go and ask on Instagram for questions, so make sure to follow me there if you want the most up-to-date information. But thank you in advance for your questions. They can be about IVF, adoption, really anything. It's a free-for-all, but since we're in the midst of IVF, feel free to leave those down below as well. Alright, thank you. Alright, I'm trying to be really subtle, so I'm back at the fertility clinic as I do, but I have to go get my recurrent loss panel blood results done because I think I mentioned before they needed to get done, but they didn't get put on the first set of blood work. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I kept bugging them about it. Now I'm back, but because you have to sit in the parking lot before your appointment and then like call to get up there, like there's so many people sitting in their cars, so normally I'd have you guys up here so you could like not see my double chin, but there's a lady over there, there's a lady behind me, and I'm really paranoid about like talking to a camera in the car. So it's time to mask up, cover my gorgeous lipstick, and call them and see if I'm allowed up.
Hey, woman, check-in. Have you experienced any COVID symptoms?
No.
And have you been around anyone else that's been diagnosed within the last month?
No.
And have you traveled internationally in the last 30 days?
No.
Okay, go ahead and put your mask on and come on up.
Alright, sounds good.
Thanks.
Bye. And done. That was so fast. That was like 5 minutes in and out, super fast. It's kind of nice because the lab technician was just right there waiting for me. Took me back, got my blood drawn. She said I just made the cutoff for when the courier is going to come to pick up those blood draws, so I should have those results pretty fast. There we go. Sorry, not super stable today. Oh well. Alright, now to go figure out what I need to do for lunch and go back to work. I have so much work to do. Oh, I'll check back in when those results are in. Trying to remember where I last left you guys. I think it was my blood draw for my recurrent loss panel. So let's start there. Got those results back and everything is in the clear now, so I will leave the list of what all I got done over here somewhere, but all of that came back within range, so yay. I don't need anything special to do with that. But today was baseline ultrasound day and endometrial scratch day. I didn't film anything while I was there, but I did make an Instagram post, so make sure to follow me over there. 2 things really came out of that. One, baseline ultrasound was good, so we're a go to start medications tomorrow. And I will go over my calendar and my meds as soon as my injections get here, so those arrive tomorrow. So I will make a whole little spiel about that. I know some people care about protocol, and I like to share it just so you know you can compare it to yours and ask questions and all that jazz. But so lining was good, but we also did an endometrial scratch, and essentially it's almost exactly what it sounds like. They scratch your endometrium, which is regrowing right now, to make it healthier and better. I don't really understand the science of why that makes it better, but yeah, so it's fresh and coming in right now as my lining's thin, and evidently that's supposed to make it better. It sucked though. It super sucked. I was ready for it to not feel good because it's a scratch like that. Obviously isn't good, but yeah, it was really bad. I was really glad that the husband had driven with me because it definitely made him drive home. I could have driven home, to be real clear, but I was just like, it feels much better to like kind of be curled up and just not feel it. It was just kind of after the initial bit, which was really awful, like it was just like a really strong period cramp that lasted for like 20 minutes. So I did, thanks to one of you fine ladies who messaged me on Instagram after I asked on Instagram stories about like what I should be ready for during an endometrial scratch. One of you suggested taking some Advil before, so I did. So thank you so much. I could really tell that that helped. Like afterwards, it didn't help with like that one initial pain, but afterwards I could really tell that it was helping curtail that pain. So thank you so much for that. And now I'm fine. It's like I had a Coke as my little special treat afterwards, and now I am feeling fine. It's starting to hit me, since I'm starting meds tomorrow, that this is really happening. But yeah. So I think that's where I will leave you all for now. Follow me on Instagram if you want the most up-to-date things. Otherwise, join the journey by hitting the subscribe button down below. And as always, ladies, keep on fighting.